Uploaded, and I did want to get something out again. I told you guys last time I'd upload something soon about Warriors Varadina, but the news for that hasn't come out yet. But I did want to talk about Crypto Raiders, and this was a game that I had hinted at actually in that last video, and I think it's a pretty good time to talk about it. I mean, today we just had the seasonal tournament for the game. I actually had the pleasure of helping run that, which was great. And that tournament today inspired me to really want to get a video out and just kind of talk about it. So Crypto Raiders is a RPG style game on the blockchain, Final Fantasy-esque kind of thing, and we've actually gone through most of this at this point. We're in the middle of Act 1. Guilds and the Port to Unity haven't come out yet, but I'm going to give you guys just a basic general overview of what the game looks like. So, with Crypto Raiders, you have these characters, you have your Crypto Raiders, and you can send them on dungeons. So, let's see, I'll send somebody just to give you an idea of what this is like. So, let's send... Here, we'll send this one. This one's pretty good. So this one's actually got the Blade of the Beast, which is one of the rarer items in the game. And we'll just do it here. So you take your guys, you send them on raids. So here we take our person, and we send them into the raid. They go into this dungeon, and they walk around, go down a little well over here, come out. As they keep going, they eventually run into some type of enemy. So it's going to be this. We're going to go over here. We're just going to fight it real quick. Right now, combat in the game is very simple. You can get a rune, which is like a spell. This character actually doesn't have a rune equipped. Maybe I'll show you guys a character with a rune as well. So we have like the attack function, the runaway function. And if you have a rune, maybe you'll have like bash, or you'll have like ice barrier, or some kind of blind. But the game is relatively simple. You go in, and then, oh look, we got a blind actually. So we go in, you beat the dungeon, you get an item. So it's pretty simple, pretty nice gameplay loop. And I think with what's coming up in the future, I mean, the team talks about how in the next 30 days we're really going to have a lot of news, and I don't really know what that means. But I have a feeling it's going to be, there's going to be guilds coming out, so you're going to be able to lend out your raiders to other people, or you're just going to be able to set up a guild with your friends, and you can do like co-op dungeons, because they have mentioned that at some point we're going to have party dungeons as well, where multiple players are going into one dungeon and raiding one boss together. There is going to be permadeath in this game at some point. It's not out yet, but at some point we sent our character into that dungeon. They survived perfectly fine, but if your character happens to die in the dungeon when permadeath is on, they'll be removed permanently from the game. And that actually bridges nicely into another concept where, with death, is the mobs. So with mobs, if you these are the enemies in the game, right? And the enemies are owned actually by the players. So if one of the enemies were to kill a player, that player would drop their loot, they would drop some gold, and it would actually go to the person who owns the mob, which is pretty interesting. A neat way for the mobs to give back value to the people who own them. But yeah, the mob concept is pretty cool. At some point, they talk about how we're going to be able to stake the mobs and get like potions or bread or some other type of in-game token that we can use, some kind of usable resource. Right now, the only resources in the game are keys and scrolls. There is also items, of course. So like, yeah, you can see this person has a copper mail on. They've got this bash. And they've got this flora orb. Not really the best build in the world, but this person's probably one of my stronger people, I would say. But yeah, I think this gives you a pretty solid overview of how the game works. I mean, it's relatively basic. You send your characters in, they fight the boss, they get some loot, and then you can just keep doing that. Every week the dungeons reset. They add new dungeons. So like, for instance, we originally started out just with Memento Mori. We've gotten all these dungeons. This one that we did today, this Raider Carol, this is actually a Christmas-specific dungeon, which is pretty neat. But I think that's a pretty good general overview of the game. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is just just a cool game that I wanted to let you guys know about. I'm pretty interested in this game. I've been playing it for a bit, and I think it's really cool. So if you're interested in the game, we can look at some of the characters. This guy over here, the floor price characters, the Gen 3 floor price characters. This one's actually pretty solid. Or this one over here, level 6, that's actually really solid. It's got a rune too. But like, you can get characters for about 250, 300 it looks like. Yeah, 250, 300. So characters are definitely relatively pricey. But keep in mind that these characters are going to be able to go into dungeons. They're going to be able to get the currency for the game, which would be like Aurum token, which is like the game's in-game gold. Right now, that's got a value of, I think, 2.5 cents or so per Aurum. And you're going to be able to get that just sending your characters into dungeons. On top of it, you're getting the loot. You're getting these rare items that somebody might also be interested in. Some characters might need certain gear, and this gear will be useful for something. Even if the gear is not useful, you're going to... At some point, they talk about how we're going to be able to have crafting, or like some kind of... You can destroy certain items to make new items. So there's definitely value to having all these different tokens that exist in the game, and you're going to be able to get those. So yeah, I think this gives you a pretty good general overview. I showed you mobs, which currently have a floor price of about 300. I showed you the raiders, which currently have a floor price of about 235. And I showed you some general gameplay, so I hope this gives you a good idea about crypto raiders. I hope you learned something here. Of course, none of this, again, is financial advice. This is just a person who's been playing this game for a bit who wants to show other people this game, because right now I think it's pretty under the radar. I don't think a ton of people really know about crypto raiders. As we get more content in crypto raiders, I will probably make some type of videos. I'll make more videos for the gameplay moving forward. But yeah, let's do one more run just to give you guys an idea of... I mean, we got a good item on that first one, but yeah, we'll just do a different run. We'll do this one on the harder level boss. We'll see if we can take him out. We just send our guy in. We walk around. You go down that well, and then the boss is just right around the corner once you get out of the well. Yeah. And like they add new dungeons every week. They've been adding new sprites. They've been changing the music. Actually, I had the music muted here. Let's listen to that. The game's music is really good. Yeah. I think the animations, if you like pixel art, I think the animations in this game are really nice. I think this artwork here is really nice. If this is your if you enjoy this type of like pixel art, this type of simple gameplay where you send your characters into dungeons, I think you definitely might enjoy Crypto Raiders, and you might want to give it a look. And we just squeaked that one by. That was a closer fight. And we get this item at Christmas Story, which isn't really a great item, but it's not the worst. I'll show you. It's this book right over here. Yeah. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment down below. All that jazz. And I'll talk to you later.